Yeah, what I want to talk to you guys about is how to learn how to draw, getting started. And this video is about how to learn how to draw and get started for learning how to draw. Even though I am not an artist, I do have some experience and I am good with common sense, good with some degree of with common sense, as you'll see in this video. So honestly, if you want to learn how to draw, if you want to get started to learn to draw, is the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to simply realize how to keep a steady hand, okay? Because you have to realize it's just like the days. I know a lot of people in school, who come out of school and maybe university and all that sort of stuff, because who honestly knows, man? There's some people who just don't have good penmanship. The one thing is that's certain for true is that it's a lot better than it could be, than would have been if you didn't practice at all. Like, have you ever seen a 5-year-old kid who's written something? It does not look very good. So honestly, it's the same thing with that. Is that if you practice to learn how to write properly, the more effective it will be. So if you learn how to trace something, and what exactly do you like to learn how to trace? Do you like to trace cars? Do you like to trace robots? Like, whatever you like to trace, just trace it for a period of time. That's what's going to teach you to keep a steady hand. Another thing, if you want to get started, if you want to actually start making your own designs, is you're going to have to realize how important 3D objects are. The importance of 3D objects, because pretty much, to sum up art, from what I've read, is it consists of just having a steady hand and just simply being able to being able to have 3D objects, such as maybe like a 3D cube and all that sort of stuff together. So if you could put that stuff together, you could create three-dimensional objects. So that's what pretty much it consists of, is just those two things together. So what I think, and I think this could even be a bit of fun, if you want to learn how to draw, I think that's what you're going to have to do, is you're going to have to simply focus on on making designs, making different pyramids, and maybe like hexagons and all that sort of stuff that can determine everything from its size to just its general appearance. Like, if you're drawing a car, I'm sure you might draw like a rectangle and all that sort of stuff and put it together, and you might have fun. You might decide, you might come up with a lot of creative ideas. You might decide to put so many different shapes, and in all of these different categories, you might even use shapes people don't regularly use to help create your own design. So you could play around with it. To be honest with you, it should be a lot of fun. Honestly, it should be. Uh, to be honest with you, and the thing is, it really can determine. And the thing is that's good about it is that it's so maneuverable, because when you look at something, okay, like, look at the shape of a car, like, for example, a limousine or something. If you ever look at a limousine is nothing more than just a longer looking car, okay? But if you were to simply make the limousine have, maybe shorten it down to two squares, you're gonna deal with a situation where you might where it just looks like a regular car. But if you might make 10 squares, then it looks like a limousine. So it teaches you how to have balance, and you can just simply adjust it to look to be however you want it to be, which I think is going to make it fun. And you might even maybe even come up with some very unique designs. And of course, one thing that's true is that you want to keep a blueprint. Like, you want to make sure that when you practice, it's in a certain particular area. So you're more likely to actually be more effectively able to learn how to have balance, which I'm going to get to in just a moment, you know. So because if you just draw something over and over again, something similar in a span of a certain area, like maybe you're into drawing cars and stuff, you might draw several different types of cars, and you might want it to look a certain way, and if you draw it within a certain area, maybe it might be a white piece of paper, or it might be something bigger. Maybe you're interested in drawing bigger designs for whatever reason. um, Through constant practice, you'll become better and better and better at it, because you're having fun, you know, creating all of these different geometric designs and putting things together, and just in general creating something. Creating something. And I'm going to get to the second point in just a moment. And the next part is you focus specifically on how the shape can actually make it more effective for you to be able to draw, you know, for you to be able to know something that's very important, such as balance. Like if I might draw a simple object or something like this far apart, I might, if I draw a similar shape over and over again, like if I draw maybe a certain amount of stars or something on a piece of paper, uh, it's more likely, if I were to probably draw it upwards, it might be a certain way. But at the same time, if I drew something else, like maybe I draw a star, like let's just imagine I'm drawing a star right next to it because I want to show a sideshow of a car driving through a city. It's more likely I'll have a good car to draw. So that's one thing that's going to teach you balance. And I think even through the geometric shapes and all that sort of stuff, you know, from the size and all that sort of crap, I think I threw three Masonic sign. Fuck that, I hate Freemasonry. But yeah, but like I was saying before, I think the differences and having the balance and knowing those sorts of things is more likely to make it more likely for you to have just a balance, you know, to just have a balance, to know different shapes and all of that sort of stuff, because you pretty much just drew the same thing over and over again, the same shapes, which were probably the same size because you're drawing the same thing, or if you weren't drawing the same thing, it was a similar thing. So that's just the basics for you, for how to do it. Of course, you want to contact the experts, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you of course use some common sense and you try to experiment, because honestly, if you don't like how to draw, and drawing takes a lot of detail to do, you're not going to be very successful at it. You have to have some degree of enjoyment for it. And the next video I'm going to be posting is a video on creativity, which gives you even further details on how to design something. So that's my video. Subscribe if you want to watch more of my videos, be updated with it, and that's all I have to say.